When you're talking about the overall weather patterns from a certain region of the world, you're talking about the area's climate. Weather is the minute-by-minute changes in the atmosphere. Climate is what the weather is like over a long period of time in a specific area.
All right, good morning, everybody. So today we're going to be learning about climate regions. So just to get started, kind of get the brains working a bit, I'd like you to go ahead and start by writing or drawing two things you think you may already know about today's topic. So that could be what you think climate is, what you think a climate region may be, and then press play to keep the video going, but definitely take your time to write out what you think you already know about climate. Okay, so now that you've kind of had a bit of an opportunity, and I hope you pause the video, you'll be able to pull from your ideas, your filing cabinet of your brain, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce 5 new regions of the U.S. climate, and we're going to go ahead and break it down. So before we get started, the textbook definitions is that climate is a condition in an area, and the kind of climate we might have here would be cold, wet, right? If we look outside during these cold winter months. So things to think about as we're going through this slide is, have you ever been to any of these places, and what were your experiences like while you were there? If you have been there, maybe to visit family on a vacation, and that'll really help you out towards the end of this presentation. All right, and also we're going to go ahead and try to use these characteristics when talking about the 5 different regions. So we're going to be referring back to this word wall, and we have cold, hot, humid, dry, rainy, sunny, cool, and wet as describing words for characteristics of the specific regions that I'll go ahead and introduce here in just a minute. So here we have the northeast part of the country. This is the northeastern region. Next we have the south region. Moving to the Midwest, that's right where we are. The Northwest and the South region. So these are going to be the 5 climate regions that I'm going to go ahead and talk about throughout this video. So I want you once again to kind of stop, think a second. So you're going to keep going. Are you ready to kind of start to understand a little more? You're confused. You have no idea what climate is, no idea what a climate region is, or like completely stop, no, rewatch what we've already started. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the Northeast regional climate. Here in this region, it's called the humid continental climate. So what does that exactly mean? That's referring to the characteristics of cool and humid weather. So we went ahead and pulled those words right here from our word wall, and that's the climate up there towards Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, and all those little states here in between. Okay, so here is a picture from Maine, which is also part of the northeastern region, and this demonstrates and encompasses the cool and humid climate, as you can see, as it's a coastal town in this specific case. Moving forward in the south, in this region, the scientific name for the climate is humid subtropical climate. And what exactly does that mean? That's hot and humid characteristics of the weather. So maybe you've gone to Florida before on vacation, or you've been to North Carolina, South Carolina, any of these states here in the pink, that's probably going to be similar to the experiences you had with the weather. So next we have the Midwest climate region. The scientific name for this is going to be humid continental climate. And before I give you a list of the characteristics, I want you to pause this video and think about the characteristics of the weather right here in Indiana, because Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and Missouri are going to be the states that make up this region. Okay, so what does the weather mean? The characteristics I think for this are going to be cool and humid. So think about our winters and springs. It's generally pretty cool. We don't have the hottest of summers, and it's pretty humid outside as well. All right, moving to the northwest region. The scientific name here is the marine west coast climate, and this means a um, hot and humid characteristics for the weather happening up here in the states in the northeast or the northwestern part of our country. All right, so here's a photo of the Oregon coast. This respectively shows their wet and humid climate. That is often very present, but don't be mistaken, they can also have very hot summers that are also demonstrated through damp, humid characteristics. And lastly, we have the Southwest, and this is called the mid-latitude desert climate. So what exactly does this mean? This is hot and dry weather. So you can think about the deserts maybe out there in Arizona, New Mexico, even Nevada. So that is helpful for that. So I just want you to think how you're feeling, and secondly, I want you to write down 2 things that you may have learned